Yes, so I will try to talk a lot in a very short period of time. I have experience with this, don't worry. So my name is Lucian Ghinda. You can find me on all social media. I'm curating a newsletter that is called Short Ruby. You can write to me at lucian@shortruby.com. But let me share some ideas that might be, there are not extraordinary ideas, but I think there are ideas that are approachable by any one of us. And the first, I will talk about ideas, and the first idea is talk about why you choose Ruby. And the idea behind growing Ruby community, it's about how can we bring more people into the community, right? So I know that probably if you are here, you already chose Ruby, and maybe it's obvious for you why you chose it, but if you think about someone outside the community, we don't talk that much why they should choose Ruby. We say Ruby is beautiful, but that beautiful, it's a bit subjective, right? So my invitation is, if we want to bring people in the community, we should talk more about why did we choose Ruby? What makes Ruby in a way special for us? Why do we think it allows us to write beautiful code, right? So, and if you speak about this, you might bring other people in, let's say, right? And I'm saying this because here is a learning that I think I had in the last period. It's like, if you think how people are choosing the technology to build projects, I know that we like to think that it's based on, on technical superiority. We like to think about this, but my observation is that mostly people are choosing technology based on the promise it has about the future, right? This is why we should talk about what does Ruby bring into a project? What kind of promise does it bring? Does it make sense for you, this? Because I will go to the second one, right? So second one, it's simpler than the first one. My invitation for you, and if you remain with something from my talk today, is start a blog or write an article on someone else's blog, right? And let me tell you why. I would like to pitch you in because you might say yes and not do it. So I will try to convince you a bit here, right? So why start yet another blog or why write yet another article? So one is like, because we should keep the Ruby content fresh. And I'm saying this from two perspectives. One, because there is content written already, but Ruby has a lot of changes and Rails and the other frameworks in the last years. So you should write yet another article about how to create a model or a control or how to approach object-oriented programming or whatever thing that you're working on, right? This is one. But also because the content today is mostly seen as influenced by social media. So you write an article on January and people will forget until February about it, right? So we want to keep it fresh. And the second thing, this does not work anymore, okay? You might help someone just like you, someone that maybe has a problem similar with you, and if you write about it, you help someone else. And I think helping someone else, it's a good feeling, right? And the third one, more important than the others, is that more content makes it, in a way to say, more easy for someone similar or with a different style of learning to find something that matches their own style of learning, right? So this is more about diversity of how you express yourself and diversity of how people are learning, right? And the last one, which is very personal, so don't do it for the others, do it for yourself. Because if you start putting your thoughts into writing, it helps you learning more and going deeper with your knowledge. Actually, this is what can make you an expert, right? Expressing yourself like this. And maybe if I convince you in these 2 minutes, maybe you're asking about how. Maybe it's hard to start it. So first, don't try to write a book, just write an article, right? An article is maybe a little bit bigger than a social media post, but you can start with an article that is just like a social media post. And then don't focus on writing, like don't put this pressure, I should write something new or something that is extraordinary or something that is original. Because then you will wait months probably, because this is a personal judgment. I'm not good enough, right? So don't think about this. And like programming, you should start and then by doing it, you get better. Right? So focus on sharing your everyday experience with Ruby. That's my invitation. And here is a very simple schema. You can take a screenshot if you want, right? It's like, here is a format. You don't have to put those titles in headings, but it's like context, talk about the context, the problem, some explorations and solution. And let me give you very short about this. Imagine that you have to put users or authentication, right? The context is I have to put users or authentication. It has to support integration with GitHub or I don't know, Facebook or something like this. That's the context. What's the problem? Too many gems to choose, let's say, right? And then exploration, you write about different gems, right? And the solution then express what you chose and how did you integrate it. And bang, that's an article, right? Do you think you can do something like this? Yes? Okay, super. And the last point, because I have to be short, the last point is, and this is a bit bigger in a way, but harder to reach. I cannot do it properly, I think. It's like engage with younger generation by going where they are. Because the people who are now in university or maybe younger will be the one that will be the majority of the workforce in 5-10 years. And then the companies will start projects in languages that they know. And if they don't know Ruby, then they will not start projects with that. Right? So we should try to reach also this audience where they are, where they are reading, where they are staying there. I don't have a how about this because I'm also not doing it, but I think it's something that we should be concerned with, right? Yeah, maybe these new social media platforms or something like this, right? TikTok and so on. But before I leave, please start a blog. But because I know your developers don't code one, right? Just start a blog. Right? And I promise I'm curating a newsletter. If you start one, just write it to me and I will feature it there. Okay? Thank you very much.